Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kat, and today I am doing a weekly wrap-up for the first week in July. So yeah, this is a new thing I'm trying out where I wrap up the week instead of every 2 weeks or the month. And in this week I read 4 books and I'm halfway through a 5th book. So I have quite a few great books to talk about. So the 4 books that I read in the first week of July are all 3.5 stars or higher. So it was a great reading week. The first one that I want to talk about, I gave 3.5 stars, and it is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. Christina Lauren is a writing duo, best friendship, and I have never read from them before. So this was my first Christina Lauren, and I've just heard amazing things about this book from Gabby at Gabby Reads. So the novel starts out and we are following the sister of the bride, and she is helping her sister get married, and her sister has always been the really lucky one, and she wins a lot of stuff for free. So a lot of the stuff for the wedding was for free. She also won like a honeymoon for free, and so she's helping her sister get married and making sure everything goes perfectly. But at the reception, everyone gets food poisoning and gets really, really sick. The honeymoon is non-refundable because it was like a free raffle winning. So the sister tells our main character that she should go instead of her, which works out fine because she is a twin, and the person that she's going to go with is the brother of the groom who has the same last name. So this is a huge problem because they hate each other. So this is a enemies to lovers romance. And one of my favorite aspects of this was definitely in the beginning when they would have to act sweet towards each other, and then it would secretly be like them just hating each other. It was giving me total hating game vibes like in the first third. And then I didn't really like where the story went in the middle. I thought that it was a bit too fast for my liking, and then the last third, I just really hated the way that the main character was treated by her own family, by her own sister, and by her boyfriend. I just really did not like it, and yeah, so I don't think it was as magical for me as it was for some other people. However, if you do like enemies to lovers, this would be one to check out, especially if you like settings in Hawaii, because that is where the honeymoon is. So the next book I want to talk about is a 4-star read, and it is The Lamb Will Slaughter the Lion by Margaret Killjoy. This is such a cool little book that I wish had been longer. So we are following a main character named Danielle, and she goes to visit the last town that her best friend was in before he committed suicide. And when she arrives there, she sees a blood red elk with 3 antlers. So it's actually on the cover here, 1, 2, 3. And this deer is the protector spirit, called an endless spirit, that her best friend and some other people had summoned to protect the town. So this is a town which was abandoned, and then now it is settled by kind of people who don't believe in organized government and things like that. So they create kind of an anarchist system where no one is in power and everything is free, and they all work hard to support the community. And this being only hurts those who hunt other people or try to take power. This is shelved as a horror novella, I think, but it's like magical realism with a little bit of gore. I don't know if I'd call it horror. Lord of the Flies plus anarchists plus like a Shinigami, like a forest elk spirit. I really, really liked it. It was really cool. I wish that it had been longer. And I also will be reading the next one for sure, because I know that there's at least 1 or 2 more after this. And I think Margaret Killjoy's writing is really unique. There's a lot of commas and there's a lot of interesting word choices. So if that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, I really recommend this. It's The Lamb Will Slaughter the Lion. It was so good. Yeah, so this one I think will be sticking with me for a long time, and I really, really enjoyed reading it. So the next book I want to talk about is Summer of Salt by Katrina Leno. So this one is a witch story. I mean, we are following kind of the Fernway family who owns a hotel on this very small seaside island. And they are known to have something kind of unique about them, and that the mother may or may not be able to brew special kind of potions to help you. The sister Mary can float, and the main sister, whose name is Georgina, has nothing magical about her. So when it opens, people are coming to stay at their hotel because there is a bird that comes back every year. It's very rare. It's one of the only ones left of its kind. And they believe that it is their great grandmother who has taken bird form and lived like for this long, for like 300 and some years. And then something occurs and it sets the events spiraling. So this is kind of just a really great book about a family more than anything, and like the bonds between friends and family, and coming to grips with your own powers, I would say. So this does have a trigger warning for sexual assault, rape, and murder or animal abuse for sure. And the reason why this has such a high 4-star for me is that I just really thought that a lot of the elements of the story were really fleshed out well. And then a lot of the elements that didn't need to be fleshed out weren't overly explained. So a lot of the mysticism of the island is left very kind of vague and magical, and I really loved that about it. That it didn't try to over-explain itself. It had just the right amount of explanation. So if you like books about witches, especially like teen age witches, or magical realism, then this would be for you. This is definitely like light fantasy. It's definitely not heavy at all. I would term it more magical realism, I think. Okay, and the last book that I want to talk about is Nightlights by Lorena Alvarez. So this one I give 4.5 stars. I really loved it. I loved a lot of things about it. I loved the illustration style, I loved the story, and I also loved how dark it got, which I was not expecting. I'm always on the lookout for great books to read my niece, and this is one that I would definitely not read her because it was so dark. So we are following a young girl who really loves to draw. I'll show you like this. She really loves to draw pictures. And she has a problem like focusing at school, and she has problems like making friends, and she's just trying to fit in when she meets a new girl at school, and things get very dark from there. The illustration style is just amazing. Like, look at that gorgeousness. Yeah, I love, that's the little girl right there. So I love the illustration style. It's one of the strongest things about this book. And here's another one. I really think that the main character, Sandy, is a really great representation of someone who doesn't quite fit in and is trying to figure out why not and what she can do to fit in. However, this does have some dark content, and it can be, I think, quite scary for younger readers. So this is definitely a book for maybe, 6, 7, or 8-year-olds, definitely not like younger. But I really enjoyed this. And the last one that I just want to mention is Lost Boy by Sassafras Lowrey. I am halfway through this book. I have just been kind of savoring it because it is just so fantastical, and I've never read a Peter Pan retelling quite like this. So this is a queer punk BDSM Peter Pan retelling set in the modern world, and the imagination that it must have taken to write this is astounding, and I'm just kind of savoring it. And yeah, so this will probably be in my next wrap up, probably, and I just wanted to let you guys know about it if you don't already know. So I hope that you guys are having a lovely July, that you had a great 4th of July. It is Monday here, so happy Monday. I am headed off to the library to do some work, and it is beautiful blue skies outside. Not a single cloud, so I'm having a great day. I hope you guys are too, and I will check back in with you guys later. Bye!